Businesses along the barrier islands in the Tampa-St. Pete area of Florida remain closed or only partially open 6 months after Helene decimated parts of those islands. Hundreds of residents are still also waiting to get back into their homes that were wiped out from the hurricane that never got more than 75 to 100 miles off of Tampa's coast. AccuWeather's Leslie Hudson joins us live from a Treasure Island landmark with more. Leslie?
Hey there, Jeff. Yeah, it's been 6 months to the day, as we know. And as you mentioned, this hurricane really never even got that close to the Tampa-St. Pete area, but still managed to just cripple this area of western central Florida. Over my shoulder is the historic hotel called Thunderbird Beach Resort. It's been here for almost 70 years and has weathered many hurricanes and storms, but this one, Helene in particular, proved to be too much for this hotel to withstand. Unfortunately, the building codes in some of these older hotels are not up to par, and this one was not able to stay open. And there is good news on the horizon for this hotel. It is expected to be completely torn down and rebuilt, but it will be built to the safest building codes in the country, which is right here in the state of Florida. So hopefully they will be able to weather many future storms as we get into the next several years and decades. But the storm surge here, by the way, was about 7 feet of water and sand, and that's why all of the first floors of these buildings and homes were destroyed. If we look at some of the video we shot in Pinellas County earlier today, a lot of the businesses and even the locals have been struggling to try and get their stride after Helene moved into this area. One of the main problems is that this is a huge tourism industry, and a lot of people come here for snowbirds for this time of the year and stay here 6 months out of the year. Well, unfortunately, a lot of their homes were either destroyed or are unlivable, so they are not here. And some of the tourists have also been a little gun shy to come back as well. But we're starting to see some of that filter back in. We've talked to a lot of people here the last couple of days. We do hear that there are spring breakers, a lot of them here trying to put some money back into this area. Again, this was shut down for several months. And as you mentioned, there's still about 30% of the businesses here that are still not fully functional, but are trying to get back on their feet. When you drive around this area, it doesn't take too much to actually find homes that have either been completely destroyed or have already been demolished and are awaiting a rebuild. That's one of the big problems, trying to get those building codes and get everything, all the red tape in order so folks can actually rebuild. So that's been one of the big problems, but folks are determined to build stronger and better than ever. Now, joining me right now is John. I'm going to mess it up, John. Jason Beisel. So I knew I was going to mess it up, you guys. I'm so sorry. So John is here. Jason is here. And we're going to talk about, you are the Public Information Officer for Treasure Island. Talk to me a little bit about how things have been going here. We've talked before. Are you feeling encouraged this spring break?
Oh, yes. We're seeing a lot of people out on our beaches the last 2 weeks. Especially, we've seen a lot of people. We had a big event about 3 or 4 weeks ago to bring people back to the beach that we did in conjunction with our Visit St. Pete Clearwater, and that brought out big crowds here. And so our businesses are now, many of them are open. As you already talked about, some of the hotels are still closed and still rebuilding, and some of these businesses are still rebuilding. But so far, we've seen a lot of people come out, and they're enjoying their time here, and they're making the best of it, because you can come here, and then you can go right over to St. Pete Beach, Madeira Beach, downtown St. Pete. But right now, we're seeing a good outcome this spring break so far.
How was this for you, 6 months ago? Were you anticipating the night before Helene hit? Were you anticipating what this area saw, or did it even surprise you?
We are working with our emergency manager. We were talking about the impacts that could possibly happen. We weren't expecting as much of the storm surge as we got, and so it was shocking to see, especially the day of the storm. It was about 2-3 p.m. There were still people out on our beach. It was sunny like it is now, and it seemed like maybe this wasn't, nothing was going to happen to us. And then about 4 o'clock, I believe it was, the bottom just fell out, and the water just started coming up. We posted many videos of our fire department, police department, showing the water just coming over the wall, coming over the streets, and just came in as quickly as possible. And that's when we had to evacuate the island and get to our EOC. And so it was shocking to see how much water actually came on. And when you came back right after the storm, I was with our fire chief. When we came back to right after the storm, and the devastation you saw and how powerful water is, which is amazing.
Yeah, but the one thing that we've all noticed is especially after a big impact like this, this in an area that doesn't normally get it. The resiliency of the folks here has been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, people came together, started rebuilding. We had some, you have some hiccups as you rebuild because we got hit by 2 storms right after Helene. Milton came along and did its thing, and so it took some time to get, permits going, and we got those going, and we got that worked out, and we got people rebuilding, and I think we're one of the better cities on our coast here that's been rebuilding, and so we were one of the hardest hit, but we've come back stronger, and we're going to continue to come back stronger.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. Well, as you can tell, there is still a lot of work to do here in these barrier islands, but they are convinced and convicted to rebuild, and we look forward to seeing that process happen. For now, we are reporting live in Treasure Island. I'm Leslie Hudson. Back to you.
All right. Thank you so much there, Leslie.